How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the old school Q&A summary. In case you missed it, there is currently a quality of life and content poll live in game. Be sure to jump in game and go and vote. Also, there was a mobile update blog earlier this week which came up in today's Q&A. It detailed a lot of the changes made as a result of the initial Android beta, and also gave a specific timeline for the iOS beta. They stated that the invites to the iOS beta will be sent out on the 10th of April, with the beta going live on the 13th of April. There's lots more information in the blog, such as what is going to happen beyond that point, so make sure you go and give it a read. This week's Q&A started off with Modarchie showing off his Italian Greyhound, which went on to cause mayhem for the rest of the stream. Grand asked if Nightmare Zone could be moved to Lunar Isle. The team all agreed that it would certainly make more sense from a lore perspective, but they also acknowledged that it would be a very substantial requirement to access Nightmare Zone. They put a straw poll in the chat and it ended up with 85% yes. Beyond this specific suggestion, they did point out that Nightmare Zone as a whole is a bigger discussion to be had, and it seemed like a couple of the mods were in favour of kind of pulling people away from Nightmare Zone and pushing them back towards more traditional training spots. However, since it's a very contentious topic, they decided to put a pin in it and save it for another time. A chat pleb asked if there will be skilling in the Theatre of Blood, and Modarchie said no. A player asked if broad arrows could be made tradable again. The team said they don't see why they shouldn't be, but Mod Kieran also asked if there was a compelling reason why they should be. Kant said that the venom capabilities of the Serp Helm should be a non-factor with balancing, as most bosses are immune to venom and it's too expensive to use anywhere else. Modarchie summarised the rest of his question as just asking for another look at the balancing of the helm. Oil asked when the zoom cap would be adjusted. Modaiza said that the team have opted for a more polished version of this update, and there's currently no ETA. Modaiza pointed out that the helm is still very useful in the God Wars dungeon for tagging minions, and Mod Kieran said they would rather go down the route of giving it more strength bonus rather than any kind of venom effect. Spine asked if OSRS could display Grand Exchange buy limits. Mod Kieran said that it's something he would like to do, but it will require engine work to get it done. Don't expect it for the foreseeable. Parrot asked if more messages could be added to Pyramid Plunder rather than just ow. He suggested ouch, oh my, ow that hurts, ah, a snake, I hate snakes, and the ultra rare 1 in 32k core blimey mate. Mod Sween suggested some Indiana Jones quotes, and Mod Wolf said that it would be a quick change to make if the community want it. A player asked if the need to re-equip the correct emote gear after killing a double agent could be removed, and Uri could just spawn once the double agent is dead. Mod Kieran said that that code is not pleasant, and it might not be a simple change to make. Regardless, the team didn't seem to feel it was a necessary update either way. Half asked if the Tool Leprechaun could be made to exchange banknotes for items, and Mod Sween said that he sees no issue with the update as long as it can't be abused. Pyro asked if lower tier fossils could be traded in for higher tier fossils, and Modaiza said that they'd look into increasing the storage crate capacity for fossils, but gave neither a yes or a no for trading in small for large. Nuka asked why the Ardi Cloak 2 and the Mauritania Legs 3 were not getting the same right click option change as the Karamja Gloves 4, and Modaiza said that the change is now being put into the poll for both of these items. Age asked if the watering of seeds and plants in the Tithe minigame could be a left click action, similar to a change made in the Blast Mine with Dynamite, and Mod Kieran said they'd be happy to see this change made. Age also asked if a second floor or an instanced variant of the Blast Mine could be discussed, as realistically only one person can be in each world and it's currently very crowded. Mod Kieran said they would investigate it and he would like to address it if it is a big problem. Talented said that almost every big update recently has been focused for endgame PVM, and now there's more focus on revs again. He asked what the plans are for players who enjoy skilling and minigames. Mod Sween said that he doesn't really consider revs or Vorkath to be endgame, and he pointed out that the farming expansion, which includes the farming guild, was announced at RuneFest. They're not yet sure on where that fits into the schedule, but it is definitely on the cards. He also mentioned that a priority survey will be on the way at some point this year to help decide what content sees the most focus. Talented also suggested some additional rewards from Castle Wars, but the team stated that without specific reward ideas, such an update is not viable. As soon as there are good reward ideas, it's something that the team can consider. And from here, Modsween moved the discussion to player moderators. He said that their moderation is no longer as key as it once was, and they would like to see player moderators move more towards being pillars in the community and doing things like running community events. He suggested that this might bring a bit more life to minigames. Mod Kieran added that as of next week's game update, player moderator chat will no longer override your chat filter. Donation asked if the examine option of coins could be made consistent everywhere, and Mod Kieran said that it's different in interfaces because interfaces allow them to override the examine text, but this is not possible in your inventory. He said they would rather keep the commas in interfaces as they make it easier to read. Scotty P asked for a quest going into the lore of how the Bank of RuneScape came to be, and Modsween loved the idea. The rest of the mods just kind of stared blankly. And at this point, Modarchie spent a few minutes trying to convince the chat that his dog isn't underfed. That's just how Italian greyhounds are.
I had an old neighbor that was throwing bread over the fence. I was just She's not underfed, she's very healthy. We give her very good food.
You're not fooling anyone, Chris, honestly. Modsween then mentioned that they're seeing reports of connectivity issues for American players, both East and West Coast. He said that if you're experiencing these issues, head to his Twitter @JagXSween, and there you'll be able to find a link to a survey which will help them pinpoint and resolve the issues. And at this point, the stream moved over to Mod West for the sneak peek of the week. He showed off his progress on the Town of Sleep, a new area which will be released with the Theatre of Blood. Specifically, he showed off a church which he had started and a house. Some players asked why it was a church of Saradomin, and Mod West said that the area was once home to a lot of Icene, a very Saradomin aligned race. This is when the church was built. I think the minimap draft of the town looks wonderful, and I'm always a huge fan of Mod West's work. I can't wait to see the finished version in game. A chat pleb asked for an update on the Lunar Exiles quest. Modwolf said that last year he wrote it and had developed a chunk of it. He said that he hit a couple of roadblocks, but Mod Ed has since taken over and made good progress. However, it remains a personal project, and it is not scheduled in. Another chat pleb asked if monster heads could be traded in for Slayer points. The team all seemed very concerned with the number of Slayer points someone with a lot of heads stocked up could get, but they weren't opposed to giving them another use, so start thinking up some suggestions. Baratho asked if spined, skeletal, and rockshell armors could be given set effects. Mods Sween and Archie seemed concerned that they would still be dead content because of how low their level requirements are. Mods Wolf and Kieran suggested that the set effect could potentially come from an item you add on, and they even threw the idea out there of the Dagonoth Queen being the monster which drops it, a boss that they would like to do at some point with a new quest. Dig asked if Watson's overcoat could be introduced to the game as a reward for completing 100 master clues, and Modsween said that deciding the reward for 100 master clues had to be postponed due to a lack of design time, but there is some available time coming up midway through 2018. They've saved every suggestion and they'll be discussing them when that time comes. Linus asked if a Wilderness Herb Patch could be added, which would provide 2 times the yield after the Medium Wilderness Diary and 3 times the yield after the Elite Wilderness Diary. Mod Kieran felt it was pointless because people wouldn't really have to risk anything to go there. He threw the idea out there of a 500k spade which is always lost on death, and a patch which provides massive yields. And this idea miraculously got 78% yes on a straw poll. Other than raids or mobile, are there any updates the team are working on which can be shared? The team cited the quest currently being polled, the Exile quest, Easter, and some stuff that they aren't sure if they can say. A player asked if there are any plans for future King of the Skill competitions. Mod Kieran said that they'll be running one in April, with a few changes. Bloke asked if the confirmation message for Torfin taking 100k could be removed. Modsween suggested a don't ask this again option. Someone from the chat asked when the Iron Man Corp Cave will be released, and Modsween will be out in today's update, which given when these videos go out, should already be live. Mod Kieran also mentioned that when all players leave the God Wars dungeon boss rooms, the NPCs will now be reset. This is to prevent Iron Men unexpectedly losing out on their loot. Impactful asked for an unlimited teleport crystal to Leletia, unlocked for a one-time fee. Modwolf said sure, and Mods Kieran and Sween suggested that it should be locked behind Morning's End Part 2. A player from the chat asked about a utility ring slot, and Mods Archie and Kieran seemed to like the idea, but they also said that it's a big change and there is a substantial backlog of good ideas to consider. Another chat pleb asked for blessed dragon hide shields from treasure trails, and this got a lot of support from the team. Someone else asked about daily artisan tasks, and Mod Archie said that anything daily is likely to get a no. Tyler asked if the Dragon Hunter crossbow buy limit could be fixed to prevent manipulation, and Modwolf said that this has gone out with today's game update. Someone asked for a lounging emote to relax with your mates in game, and Modwest said that he likes the idea. A player asked if item sets which you have the components for could be highlighted in the item set interface, and Mod Kieran said that this sounds like a reasonable change. Repeat asked if the Framey Sea Boots 4 could be changed back to how they originally looked, and Modwest said that tall boots are just not viable right now, as they would have to change every leg model in the game. And the final question of the day, PvP asked if the Dragon Hunter crossbow could be made to work on the Revenant dragon, and the team said if it doesn't already, they can put it in the upcoming Revenant's unique poll. Anyway, that's all for this week's Q&A summary. Please make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe to see these every week, and also click the little bell. I know everyone says it, but YouTube literally just admitted last week that when you subscribe to someone on YouTube, it is not guaranteed that their videos will appear in your subscription feed, which is just mind-boggling to me. It makes no sense, but hey, that's YouTube for you. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.